On the afternoon of October 4, 2025, Mogadishu, Somalia's capital, was jolted by one of the most brazen attacks in months. What began with explosions quickly escalated into a dramatic siege, putting the heart of power in the crosshairs. Around 4:40 p.m., a car bomb exploded at the gate of Godka Jilacow, a high-security underground prison located near the presidential palace. Moments later, heavy gunfire erupted across the compound. Militants, some dressed in uniforms mimicking intelligence or security forces, used vehicles painted to look official to pass through multiple checkpoints. Smoke billowed, alarms blared, and chaos descended on the city. Once inside, the attackers detonated explosives and stormed the facility. The siege lasted nearly 6 hours. Security forces surrounded the area, contending with defenders and engaging in heavy exchanges of fire. In the end, all 7 attackers were killed. Authorities later reported that no prisoners escaped, even though dozens of people sustained injuries. In private ambulance reports, around 25 wounded were transported to nearby hospitals. The militants claimed they were on a mission to free Muslim prisoners held inside. But government officials reject that claim, insisting no inmates were liberated. The conflicting narratives raise tough questions. Did the attackers overstate their success, or is the official version incomplete? As of now, the strongest confirmed account is that the prison remained intact, with no inmates walking free. Godka Jilacow is not a random detention center. It is known to house higher-risk detainees and militant suspects, especially those linked to Al-Shabab. The underground facility and its proximity to the seat of government make it a strategic and symbolic target. An assault here is a direct challenge to the state itself, not just an attack on a prison. Earlier that day, federal authorities had removed long-standing roadblocks meant to shield government buildings and sensitive zones in Mogadishu. Residents had long complained of those barriers, saying they impeded daily life, but the timing proved disastrous, with defensive obstacles lifted. Militants found openings to penetrate deeper, using disguise and deception to slip past security layers. The attack exposed serious weaknesses in the city's defenses. The militants' ability to impersonate security personnel, bypass multiple checkpoints, and maintain pressure for hours showed both planning and audacity. It highlighted how deeply vulnerable even highly fortified zones remain. The casualty toll, so far confirmed, states 7 attackers dead. Authorities claim no civilians or security officers died, though some reports suggest injuries among security personnel. The wounded were taken to hospitals, where identification and treatment are underway. Beyond Mogadishu, this strike is part of a broader offensive by Al-Shabab to reclaim influence. In 2025, the group has been making gains in rural and regional areas, pushing closer toward the capital. Analysts warn that fractured politics, weak governance, and limited resources have allowed militant elements to re-entrench in vast swaths of the country. Earlier in July of this year, Al-Shabab struck the Al-Shabab military academy in Mogadishu. That bombing killed several soldiers, including military officials. In March, a roadside bomb targeted the presidential convoy, killing civilians and wounding dozens, though the president walked away unharmed. These incidents show a pattern. Militant groups are striking symbolic targets, testing government resolve, and exposing gaps in security. For Somalis, the human cost is tremendous. Each explosion rekindles fear. Every siren reminds citizens that no place is immune. People live with constant uncertainty. Markets reopen after the danger passes, and daily life continues, but the trauma lingers. In the aftermath, the government vowed to tighten security protocols. New orders were issued to scrutinize vehicles more strictly, especially those resembling military or intelligence units. Officials said they would impose heavier punishments on impersonators. The African Union and allied missions in Somalia condemned the attack, calling it a blatant assault on peace and stability. Still, promises are only as strong as execution. For security to improve, several challenges must be faced: better coordination between federal and regional forces, transparency in investigations so the public believes results, resources for training, intelligence, and early warning, and a deeper reach into rural areas where the state's presence is weak. Godka Jilacow is still standing. No prisoners confirmed escaped, but the attack's success in penetrating deep into Mogadishu's highest security zone sends a warning. even the core of Somali governance is not beyond reach. Somalia is not collapsing, its institutions remain in place, and security forces responded decisively. Yet the siege showed that fragility lies beneath the surface. Stability is tenuous, and each new attack is both a test and a message. This is more than a story of bombs and gunmen. It is the unfolding drama of a country straining to hold itself together under pressure from within and without. The siege of Godka Jilacow will be remembered not just for its violence, but for how it exposed weakness, raised urgency, and demanded a reckoning. Somalia's future remains uncertain, but for the moment, the capital holds. The real question now is whether those in power can act before the next attack, and whether the people can trust that when they do, it will make a real difference.